Warning, younger viewers be advised. Soulcast contains coarse language. Check out our other videos if this proves inaccessible. If not, enjoy the cast.
G'day people, it's been a while. Welcome back to Soulcast, the new Soulcast episode, episode 3, season 2. We're joined with the entire crew this week.
Got the whole squad.
The whole lads. So who is the whole crew? Who's here for new viewers?
Yeah. Maxwell, go first.
Okay. Hey, I'm Monarch, or Maxwell.
Oh, nice. Nice. Good. Nice to have you here, Max.
Yeah, cheers, bro.
G'day. It's Fucus or Moz or Alex. I'm here today as well.
Awesome. And I am, of course, Deshore or Desh or Jade, as you may hear me referred to during the cast. So, a brief overview of what is going to be in store. We'll just do like the normal introduction as usual, what we've been up to. There's been some exciting stuff going on. We've had a film studio down since the last time we recorded. My computer's died since the last time we recorded.
That it has.
And we've had some poggers stream since we recorded, and also some more stuff. So if you stick around, it's gonna be an interesting cast. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, lads. So it's been a while since the last cast. How long has it been? A month, maybe.
I reckon about a month and a bit.
It's been a long time.
Channel's been kind of dark lately, and that's basically due to the SSD incident. So for those of you who don't know, my SSD died. It failed. It crashed, which resulted in the loss of a lot of things. I'm sure most of you on the Discord server would know. If you're not on the Discord server, just join the Discord server, link in the description, and fill yourself in. But that's got us fairly occupied. But in terms of the Soulcast itself, I had a request to bring back the Soulcast the other day in the server. There were demands. There were demands from the people. They want the Soulcast. Where is the Soulcast? I was like, guys, I'm gonna make a dev vlog this week, and they're like, no, we want the Soulcast. And I was like, oh, okay, if the people want the Soulcast, I guess
democracy.
I guess the people will get the Soulcast.
I guess they do.
So on the
should we have a moment of silence for your SSD?
I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah.
How lengthy do you suggest this moment of silence be?
I reckon the whole Soulcast.
The whole Soulcast.
The whole Soulcast is us silently playing Minecraft.
That's something I could get behind. Yeah, it's actually just a silent gameplay stream of me.
What do you reckon? Just like 10 seconds.
10 seconds. All right, ready? Has someone got a timer?
No, can't we just count 10 seconds?
No,
like in our
how
heads?
could you fucking count if we're silent, dumbass?
No, in our heads. That's what I just said.
How do we know when to start?
You just go 3, 2, 1, and then everyone counts to 10.
But there's a delay.
Jeez. What? Oh, I'm out of arrows.
Nice. All right, let's go. Ready?
That's about 10 seconds.
You reckon? I wasn't counting. I
Neither
can't
was I.
verify.
I wasn't counting.
I can't verify whether or not
I was just sitting.
I can't verify whether or not that was 10 seconds or not.
I reckon it's like a good moment, you know. It isn't like too long of a moment. It isn't too short of a moment.
Oh, bye.
Alex died.
Moz just left the game. He's
Yeah,
already.
I have bad so ever since the lightning storm that we had, the MBN
Oh
fucked
no.
itself.
Oh no.
So it's basically like really shit. So
that isn't.
That's a fucking bit of a bummer, mate.
No, that's just NBN things, bro.
Well, as I was trying to get at before, we had a 10 exact 10 seconds moment of silence.
Yeah, definitely exact. Yeah.
With the cast, I was not aware there was public demand for such a thing. But if there is, what sort of frequency do you reckon the people want? What are we speculating? And then we're gonna ask the people anyway. So if you guys watching, just leave it in the comment how much how frequently they like to see. But what do you reckon? What do you reckon they want?
I don't know, like
we'll see,
every.
we'll see how accurate we are.
We reckon like once every 2 weeks.
You reckon?
I reckon.
You reckon every fortnight? Because we did once a fortnight like for a little bit, and then people kept asking like, "Where was it?"
Oh, what? So do you mean like weekly then?
What do you reckon? I don't know. Is it? What do you? Is that what do you reckon the people want?
I have no idea what's happening.
I'm thinking maybe weekly, unless they have something like ridiculous, like every 2 days.
I mean,
Or is that the actual case?
Look, if they're all watching them every 2 days, then I'll fucking happily hop on and record myself talking
And
about
play
video games.
Minecraft.
I have
It's
play
the excuse
Minecraft
to
and talk
chill out.
about video games for 45 minutes if that's what they want. But otherwise, I think a week is probably.
I think a week's
pretty
good.
good. Yeah, especially if
then
we get in the groove, and get like a better like editing flow, make it easier and smoother, and so I don't have to like actually listen through to the Soulcast when I edit them, because like what takes an hour to record, then it takes like maybe half an hour to import everything in, an hour to listen through the whole thing to make sure it didn't break anywhere.
Yeah, right.
Stuff. So it's a bit of a process, but if that's what the people want, I mean, I'm happy to do it. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah, it sounds good.
What a dedicated man.
Oh, thank you very much. And even I've seen some stuff around, or I've seen past tense some stuff around where like Blackthorn Prod and stuff has like hopped on smaller YouTubers podcasts and stuff. So I'm just saying, if people want it, I can try tee us up a little chat with the big man.
That would be
himself.
pretty sick.
With the big man himself.
With one of.
I reckon that'd be pretty cool.
Do you know who Blackthorn Prod is, Max?
No.
No.
It's
just
just assuming it would probably be pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's like a bit of a pillar in the Unity YouTube community.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's like one of like the big names that people know when they think
he's one of the
tutorials.
one of the survivors. Right, we used to have Brackies. He's gone. We used to have Thin Matrix. He's fucked off.
Yeah, disappeared.
We used to have. Who else is gone? Danny now makes like trendy videos. He's like massive now, so he's changed. He's a changed man.
It's changed, man.
Yeah. And there's Soulcube. Cool. Well, do we want to talk about our experience with Versus Studio and
that'd be pretty good.
And the YouTube stories thing we've been up to? Maxwell, do you want to give a bit of a brief context to
a brief context?
What transpired? What transpired?
All right, the context for it. Okie dokie. So, basically, there's this dude that lives in our local area, right? His name's William Sharple, and you'll see if you actually watch the video when it comes out. And he got a gig with YouTube, or YouTube commissioned like this mob in Sydney to come down and make a YouTube stories about him, because he does game development education in the local area and uses YouTube as a platform to do so. And so he has like this big video around him, and since mostly Jade attended his classes and got like really involved with them early on in like the early days of game dev for us. We scored a bit in the video as the next wave or like the successors to it all. So we got very, very lucky and made it onto the B-roll.
Oh yeah. So we had a bit of an interview, and then a bit of general shooting of us kids in the rural area.
Yeah. And we got Moz in as a cameo too.
Yes, so Fucus from the Soulcast crew and Red Dane, if you remember him from
if you remember him
from episode 1, also made an appearance.
Yeah. Sure
did you enjoy the experience, Moz?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Are you glad that we invited you?
Yes.
Would you have been upset? Would you have been upset if we didn't invite you?
Yes, I would have been upset if you brought some other kids to do it
instead of you.
It's okay if you couldn't bring anyone, but if you brought some other kids, that would have been a little bit sad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, so it was a great experience with them. They even gave us like really nice chocolate at the end, a little voucher.
That's the highlight for Alex. You got nice chocolate at the end.
No, I was just saying it's very considerate that they did that.
It's fine.
And yeah, I think it's great that they've done.
You know, it was
such a
nice. They
thing.
were actually really nice to work
Yeah.
with. Like, it was like, it could have been awfully intimidating. I guess it was to an extent.
Oh, you know, I was like shitting
But
myself.
they were.
Especially no, I was doing okay for like the first bit, and then they brought out like the clacker, whatever it's called, like the actual thing that they you know where
yeah.
like the person
film-
comes
the
out and
film,
goes, yeah, such and such, take one action, and like they clap it and then like they go behind. That's when I was like, yeah, this is the real deal. I'm
like,
terrified.
brr. And I was like, I was going fine until like towards the end of the interview, and they were like, all right, we need you to sum up the entire thing in 2 sentences. I was like, oh my fucking god, how the fuck?
Yeah,
am I supposed to do that?
that's a bit
How
difficult.
the
Hey,
fuck am I meant to do that? That is not an easy feat to do. It's like you
Yeah.
have an interview, and at the end of the interview, like, all right, just sum up the interview in 2 sentences. Ready? You got 10 seconds to formulate it. Go. I'm just like,
yeah, it was
know?
very like impromptu.
Yeah, but you know that's what an interview is, and they only grab like
Exactly.
the best 10 seconds of.
Yeah,
the
and
interview
yeah, like we
anyway.
won't be like that won't be the entire thing, so it
No,
won't be like pure embarrassment.
No, but here's the thing. For context for the people, did you say how much views these videos usually get?
Oh no, I did not. You can reveal that one.
Oh, 3 million over.
Yeah,
3
million with an M.
Yeah, that's a big number. That's a bit of a big number, ain't it? In it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like the Soulcast usually rack up,
Pretty
you know,
big.
up there, but you know, 3 million, like it isn't bad compared to like what we usually average. So you know,
That's
it's,
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
yeah,
Well, it's certainly an improvement.
oh, only like a little bit, you know.
But yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Nice bit, guys.
Yeah, no
Wow,
worries.
fuck off.
Nice bit, guys. But I wanna. I look. See, I wanna inquire. I wanna inquire, you lads. You lads. How many people do you think are like? What impact do you think us being in this video is gonna have on Soulcube? What do you lads reckon?
I hope people actually like our Instagram posts now.
Yo, imagine.
And Twitter posts actually. We have like this curse. I don't know if you guys know very well, but we have like a curse where we have, you know, like a substantial amount of followers, like, you know, for like our standards, and then all of a sudden we get like less than 10% of that in the way of likes.
Yeah, it's gonna make it cringe. Even in
and or
engagement,
views
even in
too.
reach.
You can like
Yeah,
see
even in reach. It's just like,
yeah, no, the algorithm just really
I
dislikes
don't
us.
understand how the platforms work. It's like we make all this stuff, and then like people that doesn't even get shown to people who are following us.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand. But alas, I absolutely have no fucking clue what is going to happen when the video releases.
Neither.
But I mean, I guess I'm excited to see what happens. You know, it's not going to be fucking detrimental, right? Worst case scenario, we had a nice film experience and nothing happens.
And then something good to flex, right?
Yeah, best case scenario, 1% of those people come, and then we have what, like 30k new people.
Yeah, definitely.
But who knows? Right? It's
Who knows?
all up in the air.
And when does the video hit? Do you know, or is it kind of?
The video hits sometime in. Actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose that. So I'm not gonna. Yeah.
It's a little while.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose that. What were you saying, Moz?
Oh, I actually forgot.
Oh,
Nice.
must have been a banger.
It's been really.
No. So I was gonna say, so because you know how you said you hope that it gets like 30k more people like interested into Soulcube.
Yeah, well, that would be like 1% of the.
Yeah,
people that
as
shit.
yeah, and like my question is, so will it be mainly focused around the community side of Soulcube, or will it be mainly focused around the creation side, like what Soulcube has created, like games wise, or is it going to be on community and providing game dev tutorials and game development stuff with like at the school and whatnot?
I mean, it won't be local stuff, right? Obviously, people like, I mean, maybe like a couple of like people will see it like that are actually in a proximity to do stuff locally, but most of it will be the online stuff and all the online community stuff that we do, and all the development stuff that we do is in tandem with like the community anyway, right? Like we make the community content for it and we stream it with the community, and shit like Muris is a community-driven game, really.
Yeah.
So we're trying to, I guess, build a more cohesive unit between everything we do. I think that's why we're able to do such a wide variety of stuff. consistently is because all of it is driven by the same core community, I guess.
Yeah, it all ties in.
Yeah, but it's still modular enough that if people really don't give a shit about talking to other people, they can still, play test and play our games or watch a devlog about us making the game without having to care about, the pillars of the community, right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
What?
Does that answer your question, Mozdog?
Listen, all that I got was robot, so I'm going to say very yeah.
I mean, your
okay.
your connection on Minecraft really isn't looking very good.
Yeah, no. Like we can hear you fine. I'm not sure why like your receiving and stuff is whack. Is whack.
It's probably because Olivia's doing something. It's
Oh,
just
gaming.
Downloading something.
Gaming. All right. Well, I think that is enough about the business side of things to begin with. What do we say about we have a little chat about some games. Now, I know a lot of us hasn't been playing that much games recently.
Yeah.
I know we all said we were going to play Loop Dungeon, but I have not played that much Loop Dungeon.
Oh, I literally forgot. I remember I kept saying that I was going to buy it because I got like a Steam gift card for my birthday, and then I just never did it. So,
Yeah,
totally
I've actually played a bit of Loop Dungeon, but that was a while ago.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have much insightful to say about it, other than you need to change the font to the dyslexic one because you literally can't read it.
Right.
I'm not dyslexic, but I can't read the normal font, and there's a lot of text. So if the text is hard to read and there's lots of it, and you have to keep reading it often, like every single time you get a new fucking item, you have to read a whole paragraph of text. I don't want it to be like a fucking puzzle. So you need to change the text, but otherwise everything else is like fairly clear, like visual wise, which was like my biggest concern when we were discussing it before.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I would not say that the visuals are of detriment other than the font, like the text.
Cool.
But there are, while we haven't been playing any games ourselves, I've been playing a couple of games on the Soul stream, and I know you boys, the Soulcast crew, was around the last stream.
Oh yeah, we tune in a couple times.
Yeah, so we've got 3 hit titles to discuss currently. We've got Sewer Rats, Super Win the Game, and Dungeons and Lesbians. Now we are going to have 3 very critical reviews. We're going to have 3 very critical reviews of these 3 titles. I think we're going to start with Super Win the Game, because it is the most normal of the 3 games that we played on the stream.
Yeah.
I don't
the
know.
most normal.
I don't know how much you were there for Super Win the Game.
I came in. I made a comment about the visuals and called it Legend of Zelda. If you're like farsighted or something, I forget what I said. But
that my biggest takeaway is the game's fucking blurry as hell. It's like they've got like this distorted filter thing on, and it's like it was genuinely hurting my eyes to like.
It's like some weird shader stuff. Like I was looking at like the it isn't just like any normal motion blur. It's like even more painful. Because when you have like a blur, right, the actual blur like layer I'm gonna call it has like some weird blending mode. So it like multiplies the I don't even know what the fuck it does, but I just remember seeing like the character blur was like in red.
Yeah.
Despite like being no red, and I'm just like what? What's this?
But isn't it meant to be imitating like the old consoles that they were playing?
Shitty displays.
Yeah, meant to imitate eyesore.
Well, I mean, because it's just meant to. Well, I don't know if it was an eyesore. When I watched it, I thought it was fine, although I wasn't playing the game.
Isn't there a reason why the consoles developed past looking like that?
Yeah, but there's also that aspect which potentially it's a nostalgic version.
Yeah, I understand that.
Grew up with that because we obviously haven't.
No.
And I just don't know if that was maybe like the developer potentially grew up on those old consoles and finds it nostalgic to have that filter over the game.
Yeah, I mean, like I know you can get like emulators and stuff for like old games that still have that kind of filter with it. But yeah.
I'm sure if I played like a PS2 graphic game, and that's what I grew up on, I would probably like find some enjoyment out of it. Even though objectively it does look kind of shitter than than other stuff, right? It's just like low polygons, fucking horrible texture, fucking shit, right? So I suppose But I mean, at the same time, it does sort of alienate your audience if they're not from
A specific, yeah,
demographic
yeah.
or age bracket, really, what it is.
But yeah, I still thought it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting. Like there are in terms of like retro graphics, I actually think it's one of the better ones that I've seen. There's plenty of retro graphics that I fucking despise, that I actually think looks horrendous.
Yeah.
I would not say that game looks horrendous at all. I would say it looked retro, and I think it did retro well, right? I think I've seen much worse retro art, you know.
Oh yeah.
My biggest thing about retro art is just the colors. Like fucking, it's like always like super saturated, and there's like super like high contrast, high saturation, just like a mess, an absolute mess. Is my biggest gripe with lots of retro graphics.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. In terms of the actual gameplay, it was I didn't really understand. I was just like going around. It's like a sort of a Metroidvania sort of deal, but like there was like aspects where you'd go into like an open world map. It was kind of interesting, I guess. But nothing like super special.
I mean, yeah, from what it looked like, it looked pretty generic.
Yeah.
In what it actually provided. Aside from, of course, trying to fit that nostalgic, or well, I'll say it is attempting to be nostalgic, like trying to fit that old aesthetic. Was kind of like the only key thing that differentiated it from the 2D platformers that you would like have today, which are trying to like imitate that low poly idea. So it kind of seemed like it was just a classic one, but with a little additional, which like you go,
twist around.
So.
Yeah. You know, it didn't look like it was bringing anything new to the table. Just a bit.
No, and that's why we had enough. We had enough. We moved on to a new title. We moved on to Dungeons and Lesbians,
which was very interesting.
What do they call it? A visual novel. A visual novel. And it sucked. That's my opinion.
Not just because they're great visual novels.
No, of course.
Torrents and stuff, like great ones.
We played the game. We finished the game, and I was not satisfied. I was not satisfied whatsoever. In terms, all right, here we're going to break down the visual novel, right? In terms of writing, it's kind of what I expected out of like a dating sim, right? Like a Dungeons and Dragons dating sim. It's exactly what I expected out of a Dungeons and Dragons dating sim. Not the most artistic of dialogue.
There was like its own kind of charm, I guess.
There was. Yeah, I genuinely lost it when those memes started coming up like randomly. It was just so uncalled for.
It was.
It was so uncalled for.
And like some of the dialogue was, it was a bit like quippy and funny in some parts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I expected from a Dungeons and Dragons dating sim, right? In terms of actual dating choices, I didn't understand what we did wrong. Was the biggest problem. We didn't have a lot of choices. We picked the girl that we tried to get with, and it didn't even work. We ended up with someone completely different. It wasn't even a girl. So we played. Yeah,
we got into a straight relationship. We played
the lesbian dating simulator. We ended up in a straight relationship. Are you kidding me? Like, I feel absolutely ripped off. I feel absolutely ripped off.
I thought it was funny how like the guy, right, the guy that in our or like in one you ended up getting with, he was like just before basically said end a game. He said you should really use your like break time to talk to other people and get to know them better. And it was like okay, and then legit after that. They played one more round of D&D. It got to the break time, and then everyone left. And then that's when the fucking game ended. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, that's fucking stupid. Like, you should probably say that at the beginning of the game instead of
we spent one break time with one of the ladies, and then we spent one with the other, and then we were like, okay, we've decided we're going to go for this lady. And then it got to the next break time, and they all fucking left. And I was just like, what the hell? What the hell?
Yeah.
I didn't understand I don't know.
It wasn't very.
I don't know what we did wrong, guys. So in terms of I have not played many dating sims. I haven't played many lesbian dating sims. I haven't played many Dungeons and Dragons. themed lesbian dating sims. So this may be the best one out there if that is the experience you're looking for.
Maybe.
But in terms of visual novels, I would not recommend. I mean, maybe we just had an unlucky playthrough.
Yeah,
Maybe.
wasn't very good.
Maybe we just had an unlucky playthrough. Though the next game that we ended the stream on, Sewer Rave.
It was very interesting.
Very
Were you there?
interesting.
Didn't
Yeah.
you leave, Max?
I had to leave partway through because I had to. Fuck, I don't know. I think I was like fetching the washing or something. I don't know. But I saw like the first bit of that one look very, very cool. I remember seeing the Twitch rats.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when I had to leave.
Yeah, Twitch integration when you got working.
Which is very interesting
The
for
premise,
like, a small game like that.
The premise of the game is it's like a weird, trippy, abstract thing. You play as a rat in the sewers, and they're all having a big party, and all the rats are like alcoholic and depressed. And literally, all you do is you walk around, you talk to the rats, and you just talk to weird shit that you come across, and you occasionally get cheese and fruit, which really do nothing. So you just kind of meander.
Yeah, I don't know. The premise,
Yeah.
the reason for doing a lot of things wasn't clear.
You just kind of
very
meander around the world
strange.
that the developer had made with his fucking like hand-drawn MS Paint rats.
Yeah.
Which
It seems, yeah. So yeah.
yeah. What are your thoughts on the game, Moz?
Well, I thought it was. I mean, it was pretty basic, but then that, like, objectively, it wasn't very good, right? Because all that you did, there was no clear-cut thing to execute. You didn't exactly know what you were doing, why you were collecting things, or like, oh, fucking game, or like why you necessarily had to go to all these places. Although the aesthetic, whilst being like minimal, I suppose also, I don't know if it was not really nostalgic. It didn't try and capture a specific like demographic, but I found it quite nice.
Yeah, I actually found, so even though like it didn't really have a goal or anything, I was still interested for like we played it for like what,
Yeah.
you reckon, like 40 minutes maybe longer.
Yeah.
Like we played it for a substantial amount of time, and I was interested for a large portion of that.
Yeah.
Just to see what weird shit we could like find next, and like what we had
Yeah.
to do.
It wasn't yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like I didn't know if it was ever going to go anywhere, right? Is there something that I'm going to be finding? And like at the last, like before we ended it, when we found that room with like the cats and shit, and then we went into like the maze, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was, genuinely interested. I was like, okay, where's this going to go? And maybe it did go somewhere, but I couldn't fucking work it out. But yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I thought there was also a major aspect of it, which is why it was actually enjoyable to watch. Aside from the aesthetic and like occasionally, because it was very sporadic, very chaotic.
Yeah.
So you could just go through one little thing and you'd be up in bloody Bambi.
Yeah, Bambi hell.
Right? Yeah, and it was there was a mystery to it, and because nothing was explained, there was also this part of it where you were trying to also like explain the world around you itself. Like there was no objective meaning necessarily. It was just your own interpretation of it. Especially when like you're situated around like a character with all of these fucking rats which are high or drunk or who hate themselves or like who think that they're on the moon or something.
Yeah.
And it's this very, very alienated, isolated feeling that you get whilst at least watching it or playing it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's
and
like, what am I
accentuated
doing here? Because you're surrounded by those people who don't know what the fuck they're doing here.
Yeah. And that mystery through going through each sewer and potentially coming across new things, and occasionally a character which would tell you something, although didn't really give you an objective or anything.
Yeah.
It was intriguing, and it kept me interested to continue watching the stream.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think like I think it could have had more more information given in some of the rooms. Like there were some times where I'd come across like a new NPC or something, and they would just say something like silly that's like completely irrelevant that I really don't give a shit about, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine to have them littered around, but like if every single thing has that, wouldn't the game be better off if it sort of had more of a theme built into what the characters are saying to like
Yeah.
more cohesive?
No,
to the world?
it definitely would. It definitely would be better off if it did. Like I still don't know what the hell the game's end is, if there is any end.
I don't know.
And like where we got to in the end anyway, that weird maze. It's a bit strange. And the train at the beginning, right? You fucking went on once, went snake. There were like four
different options at the train
stations.
stop, yeah.
Yeah, and we never saw the train again.
No?
It was strange. It was very intriguing, but despite the game, like if I objectively kind of being shit, there weren't any gameplay. Like if you look at the major conventions that are within a successful game, it didn't really have any.
No.
Yeah.
But it was still enticing and still appealing. And I would still probably, if I had it downloaded, I would still probably play it for like an hour.
Yeah.
Or two. And then maybe I'd start to get bored then because I still feel like, even at the end when we turned the game off, right, when you ended the stream, we were in a place that we had never seen before.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. It kept that you had no idea when you were progressing, but yet there still felt like progression.
Yeah. I
Occasion.
see what I've been because I'm doing much in narrative games for like English at the moment, so I've been doing a lot of reading. And I was reading like a paper the other day, and they're talking about like two different types of narrative games. I think they divide them up into narrative games and playable stories. So like on one hand you have games like Firewatch, more Man of Edith Finch, like those railroaded games where it's like the gameplay is there to enhance a narrative. Whereas on the other side of the spectrum you have games where the story is derived from the player's actions themselves. So like us playing that rat game, we are developing our own sort of narrative around it, right? Our own what we discover and what we see. We're building our own story in that sense.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a very Jesus Christ, my game. Non-conventional,
left again.
say, but potentially it may be more conventional as we begin to see more like people who have got postmodernist perspectives and like begin to view subjectivity as greater than objectivity.
Yeah, it places games as a medium in a very interesting position, right? Because it allows the individual literally has their own experience of the game, because it's completely different. Like when we look at conventional text and stuff, right? When we consume them, we watch a movie or read a book, we're all seeing the same book and movie. Obviously, we have our own context, which influence like how we perceive it, but the actual raw material itself is the same. But when two people play the game, they're not playing the same thing, right?
Yeah. So it also allows you for more personal meaning to be derived as well.
Yeah.
I reckon it was good. I still would like. I'd like to see a review of it. I didn't read up about Rat Party. But I'd like to see. I'd like to see if the creator actually commented on any of it.
Yeah.
How big is the game on itch? Is it very popular or?
No idea. I have no idea.
No.
I don't think it's.
I mean, it was in like the bloody 2000 game bundle. That was like what, $10?
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, Celeste was in that bundle, so.
Yeah, and there was some other big ones as well.
I don't think Sewer Rave was one of their big name.
Was one of the blockbuster titles.
No, I don't think Sewer Rave was up there.
You know what? Didn't you guys see it at like E3 the other year? I'm sure they had like a really really big panel.
Yeah.
Next gen consoles.
Yeah. Well. I have a couple more things left on the schedule. How are we looking for time, lads? I reckon we're going pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
We'll wrap up with the last few things. I wanted to briefly mention on the podcast. I already know Alexander's opinion, but I think the community needs to know. So you
Wait,
guys,
what?
you guys might.
I heard like robotic stuff aside from Alexander's, and it just cut out, and I was like, what?
You guys might be aware that the Minecraft Caves and Cliffs update has been.
Oh yeah.
has been split. Now, Alex, you care to explain what's happened with your completely unbiased opinion?
Yeah. Well, like, okay, I will talk about it because I think it is complete bollocks.
Bollocks.
I hate it. I hate it. I cannot believe they did that. The reason being is they said, "Oh, you know, we're stressed and we don't want to. We want to make sure we do the best thing, and we, you know, maybe we were a little bit too over ambitious, and maybe, you know, our employees would like to do this slower." And it was like they make these things all the time. Like they fucking make these updates. They're hired by bloody Microsoft now. Like Mojang's bought by Microsoft. And they can't put together a team to just make their own promises and like, you know, we'll get this out by this time. They can't fucking do it.
Well, what are they?
You know, I'm actually sorry.
Hold on. What are they to do if they do overestimate? Like, what do you suggest they do if they do overestimate their own abilities and like overshoot in their ambition? What do you suggest?
Overshoot,
Pull a cyberpunk, huh?
No, like I understand. Like it's probably the best alternative when they acknowledge, like, you know, the best way to acknowledge it, right? Instead of not acknowledging it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a problem in which doesn't have to be a problem, because if they just put more, because it seems like it's really slow, Minecraft development, and I get that they want to make sure the community has a say in what is built, and they do. The community has a massive say. All the bloody guys upload textures and stuff, and they get the community to review it. But I only ever see one guy, Japper, ever upload textures. I only ever see one guy, Rick, ever upload about the caves part of it, you know, like what kind of caves are being added. And I only ever see Agnes post memes. I don't know if that's like bad or not, but it's just like they're the lead people. And I don't see them do anything. I see nothing else about any other employee, or like the little snapshots that they bring out each week. They just seem so minimal, and I don't understand necessarily why it takes so long for it.
Well, I think there's a lot of things. I don't actually know how the Minecraft development works, but do they? Because they have Java and Bedrock, right? Do they have to develop updates for both?
They've got a Bedrock team and a Java team.
Do they do the updates like in sync with each other, like at the same time? Like if they drop 1.16 on Java, does it drop on Bedrock at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay, so that obviously that would slow it down like a little bit, right? Especially because they're in different coding languages, right? Which means different solutions for different things, like something. Like obviously when there's an issue like that me and Max will run into when we're making a game, we can solve it. If we want to do something, in a game, we're like, okay, yeah, we can actually do that because in Unity or in C#, there's this really handy way of doing that. It's super easy. But if we were to do that in something like maybe Python, it wouldn't exist. So
exactly.
It's I think having to do it.
It's
is certainly
they have different they do have, and they have addressed that. Like Java initially was just, you know, Java was doing the caves, right? And Bedrock was doing the mountains, as you guys would have seen the images. And stuff.
Right, yeah.
And there's been recently this thing where Bedrock had this bug which would create basically snow caves.
Yeah.
And the Bedrock team, they were like, well, you know, the community loves this, so we're going to keep these snow caves inside the game. But Java, because this was a bug exclusive to like Bedrock, Java had to try and go about recreating this bug. And they still haven't done it, but that's an aim that they're going through. And yeah, like it's obviously an issue, especially when the community likes a bug.
Yeah.
And the fucking team has no idea how to recreate that in another version.
Yeah, I see that being an actual issue.
Yeah.
I
was gonna say before, I'm actually surprised it's that you know, Alex, you mentioned before that, you know, they are now owned by Microsoft. I'm surprised that they haven't had corporate pressure from Microsoft saying, "Come on, lads, you've said that you get this out by this time. You want to break? No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
Well, they've
our share prices by then, it could take like a little bit of like a 1% tumble,
Hmm.
and I'm actually and also
Well,
like
it's
I'm
also
surprised that
'cause,
they
yeah.
haven't been told to like upscale their teams or
But
anything
what do you
because of this
think?
either.
What do you think would make more of a share price? The update coming out and it being shit, or it like getting delayed and split into two things?
No, I'm just saying because it goes against like a trend with like corporate owned things. Because like one of the reasons that Cyberpunk had to get kind of booted out, other than they've delayed it like a couple times, but their like corporate owners whatever were like, all right, yep, the gig's up, you're pushing it out now. I don't care what state the game's in. You're pushing it out. I think it was Cyberpunk.
I think
or
the
it was some other
Minecraft fan
ones.
base is very different to the sort of fan base that plays
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, though, right?
No, it was the actual corporate dudes who
No,
owned
it's
because
a
of share
condition
price.
of sales that Microsoft was under. I think it was that it was given a ton of autonomy based from Microsoft. So Java, Mojang Studios still has a lot of autonomy.
Oh, okay.
And
that makes more sense.
also, Microsoft, when they got bought, that was when Dungeons and Earth and Minecraft, like fucking everything else, came out because they capitalized less on Minecraft Java Edition and more on the Minecraft franchise.
On the IP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Okay, that makes
And
sense.
that's their big thing because that's why basically Java is left alone and Bedrock is the thing that has the fucking in-app purchases and all that shit because
Yeah,
that's
right.
that's Microsoft.
I saw a stream the other day where they were like going through like they're like buying games with fucking mine coins on like this thing. I was like, what the fuck is this? It
Yeah,
looks
that's the
horrendous.
Bedrock
It
version.
looks
It's the shit.
It looks so bad. I was like, this is not what Minecraft is.
Yeah.
This is not what
Yeah.
Minecraft is.
And
I
it's
think we
great
had
that
a talk about this last. Or
Yeah,
like
we
one
did,
of
but
the
I
last
hadn't actually
episodes.
seen it before.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, it's shit, and it's great that terms and conditions of the sale of Mojang's like was that Java. No, Java stays as what it is, and Bedrock becomes this
Corporate.
this basically corporate monopoly one, and you get the ability to use the name, but you can't really change the
Yeah, so they're
overwhelming
just
fan base.
so they're
in
just
Java,
doing the
so,
IP, but not the actual product within the IP. They're touching too much. They can just manipulate it
Yeah.
as they want. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
more sense.
But still, like with this, they've split it in the worst way possible, right? If like they've picked they've done so much to the caves, right? And they already look stunning. If they just put them in as part of 1.17, the caves as they are now, that would be great. Like the deep dark, the extra like negative from 0 to negative
Oh, yeah.
64, and
Yeah,
all the
just-
new caves. They can just put that in now in 1.17. I'd be happy, but they've decided to hold back every cave and cliff part of it, and instead they've just favored the mobs and the blocks, which sure they're fine, but the update is the cave and cliffs update.
Yeah, well,
And the worst-
in that same sense though, wouldn't you want the final hurrah of the update to be the caves and the cliffs?
Yeah.
Like if you drop the caves and the cliffs first and then drop axolotls second, I feel like no one's really going to give a shit about.
Yeah, it just kind of
at
like
that point.
fizzles out, and then it becomes just like a smaller update, and then just like a little thing afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You see, as I just like to play the game. See, I'd like to enjoy that part, as well as Minecraft initially in Caves and Cliffs. They were going to add archaeology, right? Which I am very, very skeptical about because I have no idea if that's the route Minecraft wants to go. Considering it's a sandbox, but archaeology implies that there's this lore behind things like these ancient civilizations, and of course you do have these temples and you have these villages and all these kind of things. I don't really know if I want to go around this world and find this site, which instead of having treasure in it, I have to go get a dust and broom and I have to dust away at blocks until I find like secret little things, which I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if world building is really what Minecraft is about.
Yeah, because like the whole idea about it as well is kind of like making your own journey and stuff, and
Yeah.
like
I get like they said
using
that
like the
like
malleability of
also
the world
making
to.
They also said like the major thing that you get when you do this archaeology stuff is you get these little emblems, right? Like maybe there's a little dragon emblem or a little Steve emblem or something,
Yeah.
and which is a little bit strange because you're technically like the player's Steve, and you're getting a picture of yourself, which would like imply that you're like this thing that's lived forever. But anyway,
Ooh, world building.
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
Wait,
but these little
so
things
with the
you put on
the
a
emblems,
yeah.
what are they? Is it something that you wear or like?
No. You put them on pots, and basically these pots, you get to pick what emblems you want on it. And the guy who talked about this, which I forgot his name, but he was like, "Oh, this is build your own build your own world kind of thing, your own lore about areas, these little pots," which I get, but I just feel like that's the community never has asked for this. Like they've never
Yeah.
asked. This has never been an issue with Minecraft, and I feel like they should really be looking at
like
their old. Remember how they had like a biome update, like remember like the biome vote or like the mob
Yes,
vote.
I remember that. Yeah.
Those they said, oh, we will do these at a later date, right? And they have not done them. I would much rather 1.18, which they have said will be archaeology. So they've already reserved 1.18 to be this thing that no one really asked for. I'd much rather be 1.18 be biome update and they just fulfill all of their previous promises.
Yeah.
Or at least try to do some. Because like the biome upgrades for like the mesa biome and the desert and the savannah, they looked great. I'd much rather that than archaeology.
yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I think everyone
is,
would
is
as well.
something that Minecraft really
Yeah.
needs like lore and shit. Like I play a lot of Starbound. Like I've played a lot of fucking Starbound. I've played a lot more Starbound than I have Minecraft. And I enjoy the lore and the world building stuff in Starbound because that's all about exploring new planets and all this shit, right? But that's not really what
Yeah.
it's not, Minecraft doesn't really give that same experience. I don't know why it needs to, right?
Yeah, and I think having it open, and like without any lore and stuff, it just leaves it more for the player or like for the server who wants to build their own thing to it.
Yeah, it's all to do with the server. That's right. Yeah, even the single player, they get to just sort of build their own shit.
Yeah, my major grudge with 1.18 is that it's just nothing the community asked for.
Yeah,
and it's just disappointing that they've already reserved because an update takes a year, right?
Yeah.
So this entire year will be dedicated to this update, and then 2022 will be dedicated to 1.18, which we've already established is the archaeology. So it's just a bit annoying that we won't really get, like, we already know what we're going to get, and it's kind of, at least in my opinion, it's kind of just boring archaeology stuff.
Yeah. No,
and not community centric. So yeah.
That is fair enough. Okay. Does anyone else have anything else they want to say about Minecrafting?
Don't think so.
How are we looking for time?
Well, I started my recording a bit earlier, so.
Yeah, what is it?
Mine's at 50 minutes.
Oh, mine's at 50 minutes. I've got one more thing written down. Would we like to continue talking, or do you reckon this is
if we can maybe make it a bit brief, we could slot it in, or.
What do you reckon?
I don't know,
depends
how.
I reckon we can sign it off. We can have we can have a little outro. Lads and lassies, and those who don't identify as either a lad or a lass, we need questions and topics and ideas and suggestions. We need stuff to talk about. We always say at the end of each podcast, leave your questions down below. There's a lack of questions down below. Shall I say? Shall I put it that way? So if you'd like us to talk about anything, dev related, Soulcube related, community related, business related, anything that we do, drop it down below and we'll get to it. I think we were trying to come up with the name last episode, right? And especially, the thing is, if we are like more frequent, right, uploads, then we're gonna need more stuff to talk about. So if you guys let us know what you want us to talk about, then we can be addressing that shit. Because I know when I watch podcasts, like excluding like the comedy ones, it's mainly content creators, and they usually do other stuff. But then I watch their podcast because they just talk about their opinions on shit. And that's why I watch podcasts, right? Is just to hear like what these people who I follow, what they think about certain things. How I can align that with my own opinions, like how it compares. So if there's shit you guys want us to discuss and hear our opinions on, whatever it is, if it's Soulcube dev related, fucking game related, just let us know and we'll discuss it.
I reckon that sounds like a plan.
Even if like at the end of each episode there's like a couple of off-topic questions, like what's your fucking favorite animal,
favorite drink, favorite food,
your favorite fucking burger, right?
Also, put in the comments if you want to bring back meme
of the week.
Meme of the week. Moses meme reviews.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. Cool. Well, with that being said, I guess we'll see you next week if that's what you guys want.
I reckon weeklies. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Sounds pretty good. All right. So with that being said, I guess we're signing out.
I guess we're out of here.
All right.
Catch you later, lads.
See you.
Bye bye.
Peace.
Bye.